Okay, it looks like we are live on another Facebook Live. What do we just say? Carpe diem moments, carpe diem time. Or what we gotta really work on that title. All right. So a couple quick updates. I'll be back around this time tomorrow. Actually, it might be a little earlier tomorrow. I was just having to think about our Facebook Live. Friday will be around the same time. And then next week's going to be a little bit different. I'm going to be in a workshop for Monday and Tuesday. Wednesday, I'll be unavailable. Thursday, I'll be back on. And then Friday and Saturday next week, I'll be all focused on TEDx. So it will be no Facebook Live on Friday and Saturday. But I will try to, when I have some backstage time at TEDx, I'll try to stream a little bit from there and share the experience with those of you who are interested in it. I just got a couple quick shares of this, and why I do that. Be sure to say hello. Let me know where you're logging in from, and then we'll be ready to get to go. We'll be ready to go with this. It's gonna be a short message tonight. Share to a group. Just give me 1 minute to these all shared across. Hey, Sandra in Phoenix. I'm actually going to be over in Phoenix in a few weeks for a workshop. Okay, cool. Shut up. Let's see who's on here. Lisa, Christy. Hey, Christy, how you doing? Good to see you on here. Jennifer, Travis. Hey, Travis, how's San Diego? Becky, Pennsylvania. Cindy from Dublin, Ireland. Lisa from the UK, Jennifer from Fresno. Great to see you all showing up on here. Thanks for making the time to stop by and hang out for a few minutes. Hey, Melissa, how you doing? Okay, quick message for you tonight. I wanted to talk about you get to decide the quality of your life. I just threw a post up on my Instagram, which if you're not following the Instagram, you definitely need to check it out. I put some unique content on there. And it's such a great photo. It's of Optimus Prime and Megatron. I'm a big Transformers fan. But it says, be an optimist, not an optimist, but an Optimus Prime, not a Negatron. So an Optimus Prime, not a Negatron. Be optimistic, not negative. And it's such a great message because not only do I love Transformers, and so anything that when we can take Transformers and spend it into some sort of inspirational or aspirational post, I'm all for, but the message is so profound, which leads us to what we're going to talk about tonight. You get to decide the quality of your life. The quality of our lives is determined really largely by one thing and one thing only, and that's our attitude. There will be lots of society, marketers, big companies will try to influence you to think that your quality of your life is determined by the stuff you have, the things you own, the number of money in the bank account, which it certainly can add to the quality of your life. But at the fundamental core, or I should say the foundational core maybe, of who you are, the quality of your life is determined by one thing and one thing only, and that's your attitude. If you have never read the book before, Man's Search for Meaning, I highly recommend each and every one of you add it to your must-read reading list. Why it's not required in mandatory reading throughout school around the world, I have no idea. It blows my mind. And you may have heard me talk about it before, but just as a quick synopsis, Man's Search for Meaning is by a man named Viktor Frankl, who in the 1930s and 40s was one of the preeminent psychologists and therapists in Europe. And he was a huge contributor to modern behavioral psychology. And Frankl was taken capture by Nazis and put in a concentration camp during World War II. And he was in one of the more famous ones, like an Auschwitz type one. And while he was there for a number of years. He was subjected, like most captors were, to being tortured. And he discerned that essentially what led to one's survival more often than not was not their color, their creed, their health, their wealth, but what led to one's survival was the attitude they chose about the horrific situation they're in. And Frankl observed that approximately 1 in 20 people in the concentration camp would survive, but those people who died, more likely than not, they did not die at the hands of the Nazis. They died in here first And that death was what eventually caused him to physically die. So Frankl recognizes this, and he gets to a place where he decides in his mind that they may torture his body, they may try to take away his humanity, but in his mind, he's the one that ultimately gets to just choose and decide his thoughts and his attitude about the situation. And he gets to a place where he plays out these scenarios in his mind about life beyond the concentration camp. And also, he gets to a place where he's actually being tortured by the Nazis, and he's able to feel empathy and compassion towards them because he realizes that he's tapped into this freedom that they're not even aware of. And most of them are acting from a place of fear and manipulation. And that's why they're doing what they're doing. Eventually, he gets out at the end of the war, he gets out of the concentration camp and goes on the right man's search for meaning, which has been translated in I don't know how many different languages and around the world. So if you haven't read it, it's a fast read. I highly encourage you. But here's the big picture of this. We will often put limitations on the quality of our life based off of, again, material stuff, about what someone else thinks of us, what they said about us, what we think they said about us, what we think they think about us, about the amount of money we have in a bank account, the kind of clothes we're wearing. I'm not happy because my car's not working. I've had a rough day because so-and-so didn't return my call. Life's unfair because of such and such thing happened, right? We've all heard the stories before. Hell, you turn on the news and they'll tell you exactly why you should be upset, pissed off, and sad and depressed. And they'll give you a plethora of reasons each and every day, most of them recycled, some of them fresh, to make sure they keep us conditioned and fearful and removed from our own quality of life. As Frankl said, what leads to one's survival, what decides one's quality of life is nothing more than attitude. And each and every one of you are the custodians of your own attitudes. You can decide at this very moment to be an optimist prime or to be a negatron. You can decide this very moment to choose to exist from a place of love and hope for the future, or you can decide at this very moment to say the world's going to hell and life is shit because Trump's president, or because Clinton might get in, or because this person screwed you over, or because your boss treated you like this, or because your wife didn't apologize, or because your husband called you a name, whatever it is. And those are all choices. And that's really what's the fundamental key with this here. Is life going to happen? Is it going to throw challenges at us? Absolutely. All of us, I think, if you really live, are going to go through some dark times and some nasty shit at some point. I certainly have been through my share. And that's not to say that during those times, you're not going to feel sad, grief, challenged, depressed, whatever it is. But you don't have to stay there. And that's what's really important, is you don't have to stay there. Emotions we feel are emotions we feel. They're just that. Our decision to stay in those emotions is also just that. It's our decision to stay there. And so we have to make those decisions each and every day, and recognizing that the decision you make is going to determine the quality of your life. If you don't like how life is for you, if you don't like how things are, if it's not at the level you want it to be, recognize that you have control, you have influence, and you have say-so over determining what you want it to be and what it can become going forward. But you have to make the choice in here and in here. So the quality of your life is determined by your attitude. At the very core of it all, what you decide, what you focus on, what you think about, you're going to bring about. What you focus on, you'll experience. And if you're not 100% satisfied with your experience and 110% stoked about it each and every day, look no further than your attitude to transform it. Right? And I said transform it because what can we be? An optimist prime or a negatron. I hope this is a helpful message to you. Sending you all lots of love. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here. I appreciate each and every one of you stopping and spending a few minutes of your day with me. I know there's a few of you here internationally, so it's got to be getting onto your bedtime. And for the rest of you who are in the Western Hemisphere time zones, I hope you're having an amazing morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world. Remember, carpe diem, seize this moment, seize the day, make it count, make it extraordinary. You're the one that's the captain of your ship. You get to choose where you set sail. It all starts here and here. We'll see you next time, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.